Scientists have warned that rising global temperatures will increase the risk of people suffering heat stress. This is more than just feeling a bit hot when the body can't cool down. It can lead to a range of serious health problems. It's already a big issue for those who work outside in hot countries. But medical staff have experienced similar problems wearing PPE during the coronavirus pandemic. Our science editor David Shukman has this report.
In the tropical heat of Singapore, the medics are dripping with sweat, literally. They're caring for patients with COVID-19, but there's no air conditioning, and the personal protective equipment makes them even hotter.
I'm actually drenched in sweat inside the PPE, and it's very warm for me to work in these conditions. It can affect my thought process and my concentration as well.
The risk is that hospital staff just keep working, but then collapse from what's called heat stress, where the body just can't cope. Heat stress can happen when there's a combination of two different factors. The first is a high temperature, and the hotter it gets, the more the body tries to protect itself by sweating. The evaporation on the surface of the skin helps to keep the body cool. But if at the same time there's a high level of humidity with a lot of moisture in the air, well, then that process of the sweat evaporating can't take place, the cooling doesn't happen, the body becomes overheated. And that can lead to anything from dizziness to fatigue to failure of the kidneys. This device measures that combination of heat and humidity. And the worry is that as climate change makes the world hotter, working conditions for many will become even tougher. This matters for millions of people, especially in developing countries. From brickmakers in India risking their health out in the open to earn a living, to construction workers in the already sweltering Gulf. Scientists say that heat stress could become the next big threat after the coronavirus.
I see this pandemic almost like a full dress rehearsal for what is to come, where this climate change, global warming will be a bigger monster, that we really need coordinated efforts across nations to prepare what is to come.
Luckily, there are ways to help. Resting in shade is the most obvious solution for people working out of doors, along with fans to keep the air moving and having plenty of water. Researchers have found that simple steps make a real difference.
If you could take a complete break, sit down and rest, take on some cold water and be seated in the shade with some airflow through and allow yourself some recovery during that work day, that we are seeing that have a significant impact on the health of the workers that we're working with.
Back in Singapore, the hospital lays on semi-frozen drinks to help the staff cool down. Many other employers don't think about the impact of heat on their workers, but there's growing evidence that they'll need to as global temperatures rise. David Shukman, BBC News.